Shall we begin?
Hello everyone. In this tutorial we're gonna see how to turn a regular picture like this into this caricature photo that you can see in here, using the Liquify filter and other techniques inside Adobe Photoshop. Alright, fantastic, so let's get to it. Alright, so open Adobe Photoshop and open the image that you want to use. Or if you want to use the same picture I'm using, you will find it down in the description below. So just download it and use it. Alright, now the first thing that we're gonna do is to cut the subject from its background. For this image we have a white background, so the easiest way to do that is by using the magic wand tool. But before we're gonna do that, I'm gonna apply a level adjustment, so this way I can darken the image. As you can see, it has a lot of light exposure in here. So we're just gonna go to adjustments and we're gonna choose levels, and we're gonna make it darker by taking this middle handle and put it into the right, somewhere in here, and this right handle and put it into the right too. Alright, something like that. And now I'm gonna keep the level adjustment selected, and then we'll go and choose the magic wand tool, and just gonna one click to the background in here, and as you can see it will create a perfect selection. Just select this right in here. Alright, now I'm just gonna delete this level adjustment, and now we need like to invert this selection. So you can easily do that by using Shift Ctrl I on your keyboard, or you can just go to select and choose inverse. Alright, now I'm gonna open the refined edge, so I'm gonna just one click to it and this window will pop up. Now I'm gonna make sure like the smart radius is on. I'm gonna put 1 pixel into the radius, and I'm gonna grab the refined radius brush and gonna just brush around the hair so I can remove this white background that we still have in here. Alright, now in the output, just change it to a new layer with layer mask and press OK. As you can see, this will extract it in a new layer with a layer mask. Alright, now I'm gonna make a copy of this background and I'm gonna apply this layer mask. So we go and select it, I'm gonna right click and I will choose apply layer mask. This will extract it into this new layer without the layer mask. And I will keep this in case I want to use it later, so I'm gonna just uncheck it for now. Now I will make the background a little bit wider, so we'll go and choose this crop tool, and by pressing Alt I will drag, and as you can see this will make the other side bigger too. So I'm just gonna make it around here and I'm gonna press enter, so I will commit the change. Alright, now I'm gonna right click to this one in here and gonna choose convert to smart object. This way we can work in a non-destructive way. What that means is that we can always go back and make any changes we want. Alright, now I'm gonna make a copy of this, so I'm gonna press Ctrl J on my keyboard, and as you can see this will make a copy of this one in here. So let me just call this body, because I'm gonna use two layers in here. I'm gonna make the changes for the body and the change for the head. So I'm gonna call this head in here. Alright, so I'm gonna uncheck this body for now, and I will go to filter. I'm gonna choose Liquify, and I'm gonna start making the change for the head in here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is to make the mouth a little bit bigger. So we'll go and choose this blow tool in here, and I will zoom by pressing Alt and zoom a little bit. I'm gonna try to make the mouth a little bit bigger. Alright. So I'm just clicking. So I don't want to make a really big change. You can, make whatever change you want, of course. Alright, something like that. Now I want to make the nose a little bit smaller this time, so we'll go and gonna choose Pucker tool this time, and I will again by just one click at a time, and as you can see this will make the nose and each time I click, make this area smaller. Alright, something like that. Now I would go and choose the warp tool in here. I'm gonna try like to make this area a little bit, I'm gonna adjust it to make it like a little bit smaller from here. So we'll make it a little bit bigger, and I'm gonna just one click and drag like this. As you can see, just gonna click and drag in like that. And I'm gonna do the same for this part in here. Just gonna click and drag like that. I don't need like to care about the body because I will be using just the head for this. I'm just gonna make the head look the way I want it. Alright, something like that. Alright, I'm gonna make the chin a little bit down. So let's say I want like just to make the changes for the ears, for example, without touching all the areas in here. So I can easily go do that by choosing the freeze tool in here, and I will make the area that I don't want to touch. I will highlight it like that. Say I don't want to touch everything from here, so I can work just in the ears like this. Right now we'll go and choose the warp tool, and I will just, as you can see, if I take this, I can just work with the ears. As you can see, the other area doesn't touch. Let me just undo that by pressing Ctrl Z. As you can see, I can just make my changes like that. Alright, something like that. And I will go to this eraser tool in here, and I'm just gonna delete this freezing selection in here. Alright, so I'm gonna do the same for the other ear. And I'm gonna adjust the nose a little bit. Alright. And the mouth. Alright, now I'm gonna make the changes for the head. So I'm gonna use the same freezing tool in here. Alright, now we'll go to the warp tool in here. I'm gonna make it bigger. Alright. I'm gonna press OK. As you can see, because we convert it to a smart object, we have a smart filter in here, and we can just always go back and then make the changes for this Liquify that we just did. Or if you don't want to use it, we can just unselect it like that. Alright. Now I'm gonna make a layer mask to this. So I'm gonna go and choose layer mask. I'm gonna delete with a brush all the body in here because we don't want to use this for, we only want the head. Now I will go to the body and I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. So I'm gonna press Ctrl T and I'm gonna take this point and put it down here. I'm gonna make it smaller around here. Alright, I'm gonna press enter. Now we'll go back to the head. I'm gonna make a copy of it. So I'm gonna press Ctrl J on my keyboard, and I'm gonna keep this one in here in case I want to go back and change anything. So I would go to this one and I'm gonna rasterize it. So I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna choose rasterize. This way we can transform it and make it bigger without messing with the Liquify adjustment that we just did. Alright, so I'm gonna press Ctrl T. I'm gonna make it bigger. Alright. Okay, press Enter. Now I'm gonna try to blend the neck with the other body here. So we go and select the layer mask. I'm gonna grab a brush. I'm gonna start by reducing the opacity around 88. I'm gonna start layering from the neck like that. It should be easy to do because we have the same body in here. Alright, as you can see, it looks good. Now I will go back to the body in here, and now I'm gonna go and apply a Liquify to it. So we'll go to Filter. I'm gonna choose Liquify. I'm gonna start like by making the body a little bit smaller. I'm gonna start from the hand. We'll grab the warp tool again. I'm gonna make the hand a little bit smaller from here. Alright, now I'm gonna go to the legs. Alright, I'm gonna try to mess with the fingers a little bit and make them a little bit bigger. Alright, just adjust the shoulders a little bit more. Alright, I'm gonna press OK. Alright, I like that. Now I'm gonna create a new background. So we'll go to this body in here. I'm gonna create a new layer under it. So I'm gonna press Ctrl, one click to this new layer in here, and it will make a new layer beneath this body in here. I'm gonna call this BG for background. And I'm gonna fill it with white. So I'm gonna press Alt backspace, and I will double click to this background. So I will open the layer style dialog, and I will go and choose a gradient overlay. I'm going to change the style to radial, and I will change the color of the gradients in here. So I will double click to the gradient. I'm going to change the white to a greenish color. I'm going to choose this green in here. Let's match the green from her files in here that she have. Alright, not that much. Alright, and I will go and change the black again. I'm going to choose a lighter green. Let's something like this. Alright, I'm going to press OK. Now I'm going to make the scale 100. I'm going to put it around here. I'm going to press OK. Alright, now we have a new background. Now I'm going to create a new layer. I'm gonna add a little bit of white behind the model in here. So we'll go and grab a brush again. I'm gonna make it bigger around here. I'm gonna make the opacity 50%. And with the white color, I'm gonna one click behind the head, as you can see, and another one. I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. And in here too. Alright, so just repeat that, make it smaller this time. Alright, now I'm gonna make a Gaussian blur to this white in here, so go to Filter and choose Blur, Gaussian blur. I'm gonna give it 30 radius pixel in here, and I'm gonna press OK. Now I'm gonna change the blending mode to this to overlay. Alright, as you can see, we have a really cool background in here. Now I'm gonna make it in a group, so I'm gonna select them both. I'm gonna press Ctrl J, and I will call this BG for background. Alright, now we have the body and the head. Let me just wait, looks good. Alright, I think I'm gonna make the body a little bit smaller. I'm gonna press Ctrl T, and let me just first make a copy of it by pressing Ctrl J, as you can see, and I will rasterize it first because we want to make it smaller. So I'm gonna press Ctrl T, and I'm gonna make it smaller like this. Alright, like that. I'm gonna take the head and put it back. Right. Alright, now I'm gonna delete this area in here. That's how this works. You can just change your mind a lot. Let's delete this part in here. Alright, I like this. Now it's time for us to start dodging and burning this. But before we're gonna start doing that, I want to make the model in a separate layer. So I'm gonna create a new layer, and I will call this model. And now I'm gonna uncheck this background. This way you can have it in no background in here. I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift Alt E, and this will snap the model in a separate layer in here. Let me just delete this one in here and this because we don't need them anymore. I'm gonna put this both in a group, then call this model backup. Alright, I'm gonna make the background visible again. Now before we're gonna start creating the dodging and burn, I'm gonna make a copy of this. So I'm gonna press Ctrl J, and I will call this blur, because we're gonna add a surface blur to the skin. So that's why you can dodge and blur above it. So I'm gonna go to filter, I'm gonna choose blur, surface blur. I'm gonna make the radius around 6 pixels or 7. I'm gonna make the threshold around 12. Alright, so I'm gonna press OK. Alright, as you can see, this will make the skin smoother, but we don't want it to be on the hair and in the clothes. So I'm gonna create a new layer. I'm gonna press Alt, one click, which will make it a black layer mask. And I'm gonna grab a brush. I'm gonna start brushing in the area where I want to apply this blur. So I'm gonna make the opacity around 50%. I'm gonna start brushing. Alright, something like that. Now I'm gonna create a new layer, and we call this burn. And I will go to edit. I'm gonna choose fill, or you can just press Shift F5 on your keyboard, and in the use in here just make sure it's 50% gray and press OK. Now I'm gonna control one click to this model in here, and as you can see it will make a selection, and I'm gonna one click to this layer mask. As you can see, this will have our gray fill in here as the shape of our model. So I'm gonna change the blending mode to this into soft light, and I will go to my dodging burn here. I'm gonna choose the burn tool. I'm gonna make the exposure around 40 or 30%. I'm gonna choose 35. I'm gonna start making the area that I want it to be darker. I always use 2 dodging burn. One like when I want to the overall darker places, and another one when I want to follow the details. Alright, something like that, as you can see. Now I'm going to create a new layer, and I will call this dodge this time. And again, I will go to edit. I'm going to fill it with a 50% gray. And this I'm going to just, by pressing Alt, I can make a copy of this layer mask, and I will put it in the dodge in here. And again, I'm going to change the blending mode to soft light, and I will switch to dodge. By the way, if you don't want to switch every time, you can just press Alt, and this will switch it between the burn and dodge. I'm gonna make the exposure around 30%. I'm gonna start making the highlights in here. Alright, something like that, as you can see. Now, I'm gonna create a new layer again, and we will call it burn. This time I'm gonna focus on the details, so we'll go to edit. I'm gonna fill it again with 50% gray, and I will copy the same layer layer mask in here by pressing Alt. I'm gonna change the blending mode to soft light again. I'm gonna switch to burn. I'm gonna focus on the details more. I'm gonna start from here. Alright, now I'm gonna create a new layer again, and I will call this dodge tool. and I will fill it again. So I'll go to edit, fill. I'm gonna choose 50% gray, and again I'm gonna make the same copy of the layer mask in here by pressing Alt, and we'll change it to soft light again, and I'm gonna switch to dodge in here, and again I'm gonna focus on the detail with the highlights. Alright, and there you go. Now I will group everything. So every dodge in here and burn, I'm gonna make it in a group, and I will call this DB for dodge and burn. And as you can see, this is before and this is after dodging and burning. Let's give it this kind of 3D look to it. Alright, now we're almost done. So I'm gonna merge the visible of this. I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift Alt E. And as you can see, this will create this in a new layer, what is visible for us in this window. And I will go to the channel in here. I'm gonna, by pressing Ctrl 1, click to this green. I will make the selection of this green channel. But I'm gonna try to invert it, so I will press Ctrl Shift I. And I'm gonna press Ctrl J. This way I can copy it in a new layer. And I'm gonna make it black and white, so I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift U, and I'm gonna change the blending mode to this, to soft light. I'm gonna make the opacity around 50%, and I will double click to it, and I'm gonna uncheck the blue channel from here, and I will make this layer in the blend if option. By pressing Alt, I can split this handle in here. I'm gonna put it around 112. Alright, I'm gonna press OK. As you can see, this will give it this really slightly color to it. Let me just make it 70%. Alright, as you can see. Now I'm gonna merge the visible again, so I'm gonna press Ctrl Shift Alt E again. And this time I'm gonna apply a high pass to it. So we'll go to filter, choose other, I'm gonna choose high pass. And it's depend on how big or small your picture is. If it's in a small resolution, you might need like to give it 0.7 radius in here. And if it's like 8000 resolution, you might need like to go around 3 radius. But for this I'm gonna stick with 1.7 radius in here. I'm gonna press OK. I'm gonna change the blending mode to this, to vivid light. And you can see this will add this really cool details to the image, as you can see. And there you go. So I hope that you're gonna try this with different images. As you can see, it looks really cool and fun to do. Alright, so I hope that you enjoy and you like this tutorial and this was a little bit helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe and comment and share this video if you found this helpful, and also wait for more tutorials to come, and have a nice day. Thank you for watching.
Oh, for sure.